friendships should not be a life sentence.
They should be honesty.
But not everyone can take it, Fran. Not every friend can take
Nah.
it. And sometimes I feel like they come and go like seasons. Sometimes you have to prune.
Oh.
The end. It's pruning season, baby.
I'm so appreciative of you as my friend. It's just so easy having you as a friend. Like, there's never any stress. Are you gonna cry?
I might do.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that.
They say if a friendship lasts longer than 7 years, that you guys are going to be friends for life, right?
Oh, really? I love having like loads of friends and like loads of people I know, but you're my friend, but you're not like my core friend.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you my deepest, darkest secrets.
Hell no.
Only here in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And like we say, we don't like putting ourselves in a box now, Wallace, do we? And also, your tribe is your goddamn vibe.
Hell yeah. Welcome back to Girls Next Door Show. We are your hosts and neighbours. I'm Wallace Day.
And I'm Francesca Allen. And can I just say this week, more than ever, I'm so appreciative of you as my friend. It's just so easy having you as a friend. Like, there's never any stress. Are you going to cry?
I might do.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that.
No,
Joe, you're shit. You're shit. No, but I'm like, honestly, I just think it's so easy. We never have any issues. I feel like we recognize in each other's tone. We fix up. It's just easy.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so easy.
I would agree with you. It's very low maintenance being friends with you. I think we come from like a lot of the same places and like we value the same things and like we're honest people and we're transparent with each other.
Yeah.
And I feel like, again, like I love a low maintenance friendship because we're always so busy, right?
Yes.
We've all got our own endeavors and, you know, stuff going on. And like when I'm back with you, Fran, it's exactly the same as when I left, my girl.
Exactly. It's like respecting your space, all them things. I think is everything that I want and ask for in an adult relationship. Do you know what I mean?
Take note, Ed.
Do you know what I mean? This is such a, what is it? Like, what's the opposite of not toxic? Like,
healthy.
this is the healthiest relationship I've ever had. No, but it is though. Like, sometimes you have friends and it's like, can feel like it's so much effort. But here, it's just, I just don't ever feel that.
Yeah, no, I feel the same.
Have that.
I feel the exact same. You know how much I love you. I think it's important, you know. I think, again, we talk about shedding season, but I think I definitely in the last couple of years specifically have, you know, moved away from quite a lot of people in my life. And again, not, you know, in a bad way. It's just, I think, you know, friends, sometimes I feel like they come and go like seasons. And sometimes you have to prune.
Oh.
The end.
That word is so gross.
Thanks for...
Prune.
Sometimes you have to prune though. It's pruning season, baby.
Ew. Why does it sound so gross?
I don't really know.
I just imagine like a shriveled little prune, like a shriveled little nutsack. Like, ew.
Ew, when you say it like that, that's disgusting.
Shriveled like a little prune. That is so, yeah, I'm not into that word.
Well, you haven't been pruned, so you don't need to.
Oh, thank God. Yeah.
I think you meet people in your life that really become your anchors, right? And I think you have those friends that they say if a friendship lasts longer than 7 years, that you guys are going to be friends for life, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we're not too far away actually now from those 7 years. We're only a couple of years away.
I know, I make you right on that.
Yeah.
And like every day we're just growing stronger and stronger.
We really are.
Yeah.
I really feel like you're one of my best friends for life and I love you.
I love you. And we love all yous too.
Yeah, we love you guys as well.
I always think that having friends in your later years in life are your best friends, whereas some people will probably disagree with me. Like, are you still friends with people from your childhood?
My core friendship group, I met, I would say, around 20. I went to 11 different schools, so it's hard because I kind of had like a friendship group per year.
Wow.
Anyway, story for another
she
episode.
She gets around.
She has range. But yeah, I mean, I definitely have friends from, you know, high school that, you know, I still see, I still go to their weddings, I would talk to occasionally and like still have a lot of love for them, like would do anything for them. But I also have friends that I speak to on the daily basis. And then there's like somewhere in between where like I have those friends, but we're just on different chapters right now. And again, they've always been like great friends to me. We'll always do anything for them. I know I can call them at any hour, but right now we're not on the same chapter. So we've just naturally drifted a little bit. And I think it's just temporary, but I think it happens.
Yeah. You did actually tell me that friends do a full cycle where you're really together and then you go apart and then you come back together again when you're back on the same chapter.
Yeah, that's what happens.
But that's for the OGs only. They're real friends.
Yeah, like your long-term friends. I think there's a cycle, and I think like you definitely kind of, you grow together, and then in your 20s, some of your friends get married, some of them focus on their career, some move abroad, some, you know what I mean? I think like we naturally kind of divide a little bit, and then yeah, you're right. The ones that, end up coming back together at, a later chapter in life, whether it's when you both have kids or, you're on like a similar career level, whatever it is,
See, I've literally got 2 friends from school.
That you're still close to.
One I'm closer to than the other, but yeah,
that's good though. At 30.
I literally have 2, and I think anyone else that if I had to be friends with anyone I went to school with, I just don't know. Don't know how my life would look right now if that was the case.
There was that trend online, wasn't it, where they were like FaceTiming friends from school? Did you see?
Yeah.
And I was reading the comments and everyone was like, oh my God, I wouldn't pick up if anyone from my high school started FaceTiming me.
Yeah, that is really funny.
I would just block the number as they were still calling me, all this stuff. I thought that was hilarious.
Me. To be fair though, I'm so random, I would actually answer and be like, what's up? Like, why are you calling?
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, like sometimes it feels really strange to see someone. I actually bumped into somebody who was always really sweet at school, like super, super nice. It was at like one of Ed's work things.
Interesting.
And I was like, huh?
What are you doing here?
Yeah, but he was going out with one of the girls. And I was like, oh.
No way.
Yeah, and I was like, how are you? And he's got like 2 kids and like everything. And I'm like there with my dog. And I just thought, wow, like how times have changed.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, fuck, I feel old. Like it's just so funny.
It's weird, isn't it? Because you never know who's going to come back around into your life. Like I have a few friends that, again, I haven't spoken to for ages, but now they're in the fashion world. And like, we've just like reconnected through fashion. And it's just like a very weird, surreal thing. But it's nice,
Yeah.
having people around you that like know your history and like can kind of like vouch for, I don't know, who you are or your stories or whatever it is.
I also think it's quite important to be selective as well as like, don't get me wrong, I have loads of people that I know, but there's only like a handful of people that are like really, really, really know me.
Yeah, of course.
And like keeping that tight-knit circle. Like I love having like loads of friends and like loads of people I know, but you're my friend, but you're not like my core friend.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you my deepest, darkest secrets.
Hell no.
Only here in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Only here on a podcast that goes
But I think it's really good to be that way just because not everyone who's your friend is actually your friend. Like they could be your friend maybe because they think they're benefiting from being your friend.
Yeah.
Whether that's being invited to a party or, getting closer to someone that you know or, like sometimes you can be used.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to be very privy to them kind of things.
This is why I'm a bit like, not like noni friends.
Yes.
But like, I think for me to make a friendship now in my 30s, it takes more than it would have done if I was, early 20s. You know what I mean? I think like once you've been stung in enough friendships and, people reveal themselves to be who they're not, whether it's a partner or whatever it is, it's like you do get a little bit more, I don't know, like self-protective maybe.
Yeah.
You don't wear your heart on your sleeve as much. And I think like it is definitely a different process making friends, when you're an actual adult to when you're just like growing up,
Don't get me wrong. I'm very open. Like if anyone comes up to me and says hi and stuff, I'm all for being friends. I will talk to that plant. I talk to everyone and anyone.
We know.
I know. Charlie actually said that it was something that she hated about me. I talk to everything and everyone. But I mean, I don't hate that about myself. I actually quite like that about myself. But like one of my really good friends.
I love that about you.
Thank you.
I do.
Thank you. I just love people. But I do keep it quite surface and humorous and like just like fun. And like that's all I kind of want from them kind of scenarios.
Yeah.
And my friend is like so nervous. She gets like really social anxiety and stuff. She never used to be that way, but she's had like a few things happen. And she says, like at the end of the night, she was like, Fran, I'm so glad I come to this event with you. If someone's like coming up or like big group scenarios, like you'll be able to handle it and like carry the conversation and I don't have to do too much. And I was like, oh my God, I never knew that I was doing that for you kind of thing. But I knew that you get nervous and I knew that sometimes like I would introduce myself first, whereas sometimes I kind of sit back. Like when it's me and you, you're a very confident girl. I just kind of let you do your thing and I do the same and like whatever, like it's fine. Whereas with her, I always know that I need to like intro myself first.
Right, yeah, got
and kind of like handle the conversation. But I was like, I'm glad you recognized that I was like doing that.
Yeah, thanks for the acknowledgement.
Yeah, I know, but I was like, I didn't know whether like I was stepping over the line by doing that and being rude or if it actually was genuinely helping her. But yeah, it turns out it was. So that was a good thing.
Yeah, I've realized that I quite often try and manage people's emotions in a social situation. And like I'm someone who just wants to make sure everyone's always having fun and everyone's okay and like no one feels left out. And I don't know where that stemmed from, but like it's been something that I've been continuously doing for quite a while now. And I for the first time, I've kind of realized that I've done that and I've kind of stepped back and realized actually I'm not responsible for all of those things. And it's exhausting to be constantly doing.
No, I really get that. I actually was really that person, especially when I was younger and where my sister's a lot older than me. So I was like the girl out of my friendship group who knew all the places to go, knew security, like knew where to think, how to get in this place, now to get in that. And like my friends would be like, I love going out with Fran because like we're always going to get in the VIP and we're always going to go to a party. We're always going to do this. And I was like that girl. But actually like being that girl is actually a lot of fucking hard work.
Yeah.
And also it was like me constantly chasing something to make sure that my friends were having a really good time and making sure that they were in the best part of the club and they were in the best thing.
I've been there.
Like, and I'm like carrying the whole crew. But as much as like, I didn't realize it at the time, but I was just making sure that everyone else was really, really happy. Don't get me wrong, I wanted to be there too. But
how charitable.
But it was like, no, but I'm saying like, I know exactly what you mean. I used to literally be like, you enjoying it here? You having a good day? Like, you're all good? You got your drink?
Yeah, it would, to the point where I would be anxious and it would ruin my night.
Yeah. Like constantly chasing something to make sure that everyone's really happy. God.
It's one of the reasons actually I stopped throwing parties because I felt like I was just constantly making sure everyone else in the room was okay. And then I wouldn't actually have fun at my own party. And I was just like, no.
No more parties, only going to them now.
No, yeah, only attending. I want to have fun. No, but look, I think it's healthy in friendships to give each other space to grow. And if you guys are in different chapters, you know, let's just say I'm focusing on my career, but one of my friends is having babies. It's healthy to give each other space to do that and the space to grow. Obviously listen to each other, but like just know that you're still friends just because you're not on the same chapter right now.
Yeah.
And also you never ever know when that can change. You just don't.
I also think that it is important even in that space to still make time and still like reach out. Like I am so bad with my phone, but I will continue to keep reaching out to somebody.
Not as bad as me,
No,
mate.
but like, I mean, I will continue to reach out to someone and I'll keep saying like, look, like when you're free, like it would be so nice to meet up. I want to meet your baby. But like things like that, like people that I actually genuinely like and care about, I will still keep reaching out and try and make the effort here and there. And I feel like that was a New Year's resolution in a kind of sense, just to make time for people that I really care about.
I like that. Mine was less people pleasing.
Yeah. If you've been enjoying this episode so far, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to put your notification on so that you don't miss the next one.
Unpopular opinion maybe, but I think that you should be allowed to edit friends without a fallout.
Edit them? What, as in like tell them to change?
No, sorry. Like edit your friends.
Oh, switch the roster up.
Yeah.
Fucking switch it up.
Switch it up. Like, I don't need to give you reasons or explanations. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm growing more towards this person because we're on a similar page right now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Or like, maybe I feel less judged by them, or like we have the similar ambitions. As a teenager, right? Or when you're younger, you feel like if you stop being friends with someone, it's going to be a massive fallout.
Yeah.
There's going to be repercussions. Everyone in the friendship group is going to get involved. Like, it's a lot, right? It's a lot to carry.
Yeah.
But I do feel like as adults, it is healthy to switch it up once in a while.
Yeah. I mean, we all have periods of our lives where we're closer to people than we're closer to someone else. And it like can kind of switch, and that's very natural. Sometimes as well, in previous years when I was younger, that person served a purpose in my life at that time. And now I'm doing something different. And like, I will always respect and love that friendship, but it served its purpose and now it has none anymore.
Yeah.
So like, I will come to your wedding if you want me to. But like, I totally get that.
But also I don't think that that's enough of a reason to stay friends, like out of guilt. Because like, I have two friends in particular who are absolutely amazing on my first ever breakup, like absolutely amazing, carried me through it. I love them both now, but I'm not as close to them.
Yeah.
And again, that's totally fine. Again, I'll go to your kids' birthday parties, like I'll pick up your phone calls. Of course, we'll always be friends, right? But I don't think that I should feel guilty for not like being best friends with you for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a funny one, which I don't know if people would agree with me, but I actually don't think that just because I've been friends with you for X amount of years is like why I should have to be friends with you still. Like Ed is totally like that. Like I've known this person for years.
Yeah.
Like, of course we're friends. This is someone I've had in my life for so long. Whereas I'm just kind of like, I can cut you off if I have to cut you off. I'm so sorry. But I'm like, I feel like that is a really touchy thing. Like people are horrified when I say that.
Yeah, no, I get it because you were a previous version of yourself when you guys became friends. Naturally, as human beings, we evolve, right? We develop, we go off in different directions. It's only healthy for that to relay into friendships as well. So no, I don't judge you for that at all.
Thank you.
I actually think it's a healthy thing.
Thank you. Yeah, no, but I'm like, I'm growing. And if you're not like growing with me, and especially if like you're causing problems and stuff, that doesn't mean I have to keep you around just because I've known you for X amount of years. Like if you're causing issues in my life, then I'm sorry, but you might just have to go.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I also feel like sometimes even your oldest friends, they can't get on board with like a new version of you. Like I had friends that would sometimes like try and take the piss out of me for something because the person I was in school was so different to the person that I had become 10 years later. And people would be like, oh, but do you remember when like this happened or that? And like, yeah, it's funny, but like, don't try and like pull me back into the previous version of myself that you know.
Because you've learned and you're proud of the person you are now.
Yeah, exactly. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm proud of all of that because it took everything to kind of get to, you know, where we are now. But like some people can just not understand the concept that actually we evolve as adults and we will be a different version of ourselves.
Powerful stuff here on the Girls Next Door. There's powerful stuff here in the neighborhood. Wow. And on that analogy, I feel like we're going to stay for forever. Let's keep growing together, babes.
I really think it is though, and it's true. Like the network that you have around you, like really is your net worth, you know? And like even geographically, I have some friends that like, let's say, wouldn't be so like willing to get up and go, or like if they want to socialize, they'll go to a pub to socialize, and like they work 9 to 5, and like that's great. But then I have like other friends that like would socialize by doing a workout class at 6 a.m. in the morning, and like then they'll grind and hustle till 8 p.m. at night or whatever it is. And it's like, I think it's healthy and it's fine for you to fit into both of those groups of friends and like pick and choose when you want that without having to like necessarily exclude a part of yourself.
Commit, you mean, babe?
Yeah.
Without actually having to commit to either types of friends. But you know what? No, I actually totally agree with that. You can fit into both them categories. Again, like we say, we don't like putting ourselves in a box now, Wallace, do we?
We really
and also,
don't.
Your tribe is your goddamn vibe.
Hell yes.
So be sure to choose some good friends.
Exactly. I will say, I do think that friendships can be complicated, especially when you've got like longer term friends with like new friends. And I remember when I moved to London, I tried to kind of get everyone to be friends. But like, you know, friendship groups are so different from each other, you know, and you can't always make that blend happen. But a friend of mine who, again, is one of my best friends, but like we were very, very close at the time. And we had spoken about like being each other's like maids of honors and all that stuff. But she had promised her childhood friend from when they were like 6 that she would be her maid of honor.
Aww.
And I remember when it came to her wedding, I literally remember her being like, I really want it to be you and I love you. Because we've been friends since we were like 12.
Yeah.
She was like, I really want it to be you and I love you. But like I made this childhood promise to this girl. And like, again, for me, it's fine, but like I'm thinking more for you. Do you know what I mean? And you're right. Like, where do you draw a line with like that history for friendship, you know? Like,
I would say, I'm so sorry. I don't remember making that thing. I actually don't remember anything about my life before the age of 10, is what I would say.
So you're telling me you would not have your 7-year-old best friend as your maid of honor?
Facts. Facts. If I decided in my older year, like, I'm sorry, I'm grown, I'm a big ass woman, I'll just be like, babe, I love you so, so much. There's so much you can do. But I actually really want Wallace to be my maid of honor. Like, I would just say it.
Exactly. Friendship should not be a life sentence.
They should be honesty.
But not everyone can take it, Fran. Not every friend can take it.
True. That's why I've only got like 3.
But it's like, do you avoid the drama? Do you avoid the conflict? Or do you just face it head on?
Fucking face it head on, I'd say.
All right.
As long as you're not actually being cruel, mean, or hurting anyone's feelings. Like, sometimes you can like hurt someone's feelings a little bit, but it can be salvageable as long as you're apologetic and handle it in the right way. And if you know your friend well enough, you'll be able to do that. And if they love you enough, they'll respect your decisions.
I've learned to not push anything.
Yeah.
Some people are meant to be in your life forever and some are meant to be in there for a chapter.
Yeah. And that's like true friendship is when someone is understanding and like loves you as much as you love them. And it can be honest and you can just like be yourself and you can say what you want. It's like having a sister.
Bit like me and you, babe.
Babe, honestly, you are literally like another sister to me.
So are you to me.
Yeah, I love you.
All right, well, on that note, should we go get a drink?
Yeah. Ooh, you're my best friend.
Guys, thank you so much for coming into the hood. We've loved having you here. We've been your host and neighbours. I'm Wallace.
And I'm Francesca. And honestly, we're all friends here.
We're a friendly neighbourhood, aren't we?
We are from a friendly neighbourhood. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and put on your notifications so that you don't miss the next episode. And be sure to follow us on all socials at Girls Next Door Show.